next in the 15-minute videos for the functional fitness and gentle exercise. This section is based on our balance moves. Obviously balance is really important for everything that we do every day, and it is something that we do tend to lose a little bit throughout life, or if we have a health condition that maybe affects our proprioception through our feet or our centre of gravity or anything like that. So balance is really important. In this specifically, we're going to use the chair as a prop to aid our balance, or maybe use a wall. Use whichever one of these feels better for you. Chairs or walls, both really good balance aids, and you'll find that as you get better at the exercises, you'll need to use them a little bit less. So we're going to start. You can either stand to the side of your chair with your hand against a wall, or facing your chair with both hands on it. Any of the exercises can be done using the props as that. I'm going to stay to the side so you can see my legs clearly. Again, we're going to keep to the 1.5 minutes on and 30-second rest during these exercises. So we're going to start with a one-leg balance. We're going to start nice and tall, feet hip distance apart, so hips, knees, ankles nicely in line. 3, 2, 1. A little bend into your knee. Use your chair for balance. We're just going to lift one foot slightly off the floor. We're going to concentrate on holding as still as we can. We want to keep a little bend in this knee. We want to stay nice and tall. So again, chair or a wall, absolutely fine. We're going to swap over to the other foot, find our balance, lift the other leg off the floor. We don't want to lift too high. If at any point you need to just pop it back down again, you pop it back down again. Swap back to the other side. So we're just holding for 10 seconds on each leg. Do make sure we don't straighten out that knee. Swap sides. Make sure you keep that little bend in the knee. That way you can adjust yourself as you need to. So again, your hand could be on the chair. Swap sides. It could be against the wall. You could have two chairs. You could have a double hold. That's absolutely fine. Do what works for you. Onto the other side. And again, just lifting this leg just a tiny little bit off the floor. We don't need to be waving it around in the air. It's just a tiny little hold. Other side. Yeah, it doesn't have to be any higher than that. And again, do feel free just to pop it onto the floor if you need to. Try and keep engagement through the abdominal muscles. We're on our last hold now. Engagement through the abdominal muscles, a nice straight back and stay standing nice and tall. 4, 3, 2 and 1. Both feet down, give them a little wiggle out. So that didn't feel too bad, did it? Yeah? So again, this next one, we can do it sideways. You can face your chair, or you can pop both hands onto a wall if you prefer. It's going to be a side step. So again, I'll stay this way. We're going to start feet together. We're going to step as if we're stepping over a little hurdle and transfer our weight. So we step as if we're stepping over a little hurdle and transfer our weight. Off we go. So up and over a little hurdle, transfer your weight. Up and over a little hurdle, transfer your weight. So again, we can do it sideways, hold. You could turn, so you've got a double hold onto that chair. Or again, you could do both hands against the wall. So we're making sure we've got our balance, so we're on a single leg as we move to the side. And this exercise can be built up. We could go to more than one step in that sideways direction. If we start to feel comfortable with it, we could take 2, 3, maybe up to 6 steps in one direction, and then start to bring it back in the opposite direction. So we're just making sure we're transferred and transferred. So that balance is just there. Again, we want that little bend in the knee. So we want to keep the knees nice and soft. That way we can adjust as we need to. Stay nice and tall. You can try it without the chair if you want to, but the chair is always there, or the wall's always there for you to use at any point. And we're just keeping it really nice and smooth, nice and steady. We've just got about 2 more, 1 more each way. So this is your last one. And there we go. So give them a little shake out. Now we're going to stay with working into the side of the hips. This one I am going to come just behind my chair for you to see it to start. So we're going to pop both hands on. I know you can see my feet under the chair. We're going to get a nice base again. Hips, knees, ankles nicely in line. Chair or wall if we want. We're going to lift the leg to the side, bring it down, lift the leg to the side and bring it down. So we're going to lift and bring it down, and I'm going to move the chair away now so you can see the move, but you obviously keep hold of it as and when you need to. So I'll come a little bit here. We're going to lift and in, lift and in. So we've got to stabilise through this leg. Little bend into the knee again. We're not lifting too high. Shouldn't be any pain through the hip. Even if we don't want to lift the leg, we could just tap and bring it in. Tap and bring it in. We can start wherever we want to, yeah? A tap may be enough for you. Just that toe on the floor. Going to keep a little bit of engagement through the abdominal muscles, or a little lift and back. A little lift, and we want to try and make it quite nice and smooth. So we're swapping our weight over onto one leg, bring it in, transferring it onto the other leg. So we've got a nice transfer of weight. Again, keep it slow, keep it steady. We don't need to hold that leg in the air. It literally lifts up and comes back down again, but we're under control. So we've just got one more on each side. So our last one's coming up. Here it is. And give them a little shake. So the next two we're going to do with the wall. So I'm just going to move my chair out of the way for one moment. We're going to start with a little grapevine. So we're going to pop both hands onto the wall. Make sure you stood a distance away so you can stand tall. And we're going to step to the side, cross behind, step to the side and together. So step to the side, cross behind, step to the side and together. So with fingertips on the wall. Now if it feels more comfortable for you, you could step to the front on that cross. So you could step in front. It really doesn't matter. Either way is fine. And as we build up to it, we can take the wall out and we can work our balance in that way. So we're nice and steady, we're altering the balance there on that cross through the middle. And again, you can build this up into 2 grapevines. We can go in front, remember. We can just keep those fingertips on the wall for as long as we want to. We take it nice and steady. We keep that little bend in the knee. We keep the abdominals pulled in. We stay nice and tall. And that little cross in the middle just makes us think a little bit more about our balance. Like I say, we can go in front, we can go behind. Even if you didn't want to do that, you could stay at a double side step. So you could just stay with that side step on a double. Yeah, and march it out. So the next one again, we're going to use the wall. And this one's our heel toe walk. So we want to stand, feet together, one hand onto the wall, nice and tall. We're going to pop heels to toe, heels to toe, heels to toe, just as far as we can, yeah? And then we're going to try and come backwards as well. Heel to toe, heel to toe, heel to toe. So just as far as we go. I've only got a very short wall while we're filming. You want to try and look forward. So feel for where the foot is going with the other foot, yeah? So I'm feeling for my heel with my toes. I'm feeling for my heel with my toes. I'm feeling for my heel with my toes. Yeah, and again, feel there, transfer your weight. Feel there, transfer your weight. Feel there, transfer your weight. So if you were looking at it straight on, we're trying to make as straight a line as we can. Again, feeling for those heels and toes, yeah? So again, going backwards, we're feeling for it, feeling for it. Now if you do have issues with getting into this position, you could try heel to the side of toes, heel to the side of toes. So again, feeling for it, like a pin step is what some of my classes call it, little tiny pin step. Yeah, and you're just feeling, as you can see, when you're doing that, what I don't want you to do is look at your feet. Try not to look at your feet. Try and really focus on feeling with the feet and looking straight ahead. So fix your eyes on a spot. For me, I'm looking at the camera. So I'm looking at the camera and I'm feeling with my feet. That way you start to balance it out and bring it back in. The last one of the exercises for this section, we're going to do back with the chair. Now I'm going to pop the chair behind me because we're going to use it in a sideways position. So again, a chair or the wall is great for this. It's what we call the Flamingo swing. We're going to do 30 seconds on each side as much as we can. We're going to hold the chair, get your weight into one leg, we're going to lift the other leg into a bend like a flamingo. We're going to push back and lift up. So we've got a little bend in the supporting leg. We're keeping this leg bent. We're just lifting and swinging just as much as we can. What we don't want to do is be swinging forwards and backwards. So we want to think about really holding tight through the abdominal muscles and staying nice and upright while we've got that swing going through that leg. So we're just going to do one more. We're going to bring it down. We're going to swap to the other side. So weight down into this leg, bring this knee up. We're going to swing it back and up. So again, abdominal muscles are in, we're staying tall. What we don't want to do is sway and sway. We want to keep this bit nice and controlled. That little bend in that leg. And again, we can work to at some point trying without the hands or trying just with the fingertips on the chair. We'll keep it nice and steady. We're working through this hip. We're supporting and stabilising through this leg nice and strong. Just got 2 more to do. This is your last one. So give those legs a little march out. Yeah, just loosen them off. So obviously you can see there's a lot of balance work going on through the legs. So chairs or walls, absolutely fantastic. A nice stable chair, as we did say before, wants to be quite sturdy. When you're going to lean on it, you don't want it to move. Yeah, you don't want to be leaning. You want to be staying nice and upright and as straight as you can, but it's there to support you. Walls, again, great, they aren't going to go anywhere, are they? They're going to stay really nice and solid. And do make sure as you're doing all of those, you just that distance away. We're nice and tight through the abdominal muscles, nice and strong through the back. We're not swaying from side to side or forward and back. We're keeping nice and sound, and do it at whatever pace works for you. So that's all for this little section. So thank you very much for joining me for balance, and I will see you again for the next 15 minutes.